Yo, what's going on, people? Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for me. So, here we go again. Anthony Joshua is scared of Tyson Fury. We're hearing it from all the usual suspects online, the same channels. I'm not going to shout them out. But we've heard this narrative 1,000,001 times before, time and time again for the last 10 years, that somehow AJ is scared of Tyson Fury, he's scared of Deontay Wilder because he doesn't play into the antics. That's something I just don't get about boxing fans. Like, on the one hand, they decry all the theatrics, as you guys in the UK say, the pantomime aspect of the sport, the WWE aspect of the sport, where guys, they get in each other's faces, they push and shove, they scream, they yell, they insult each other's mothers, wives, and kids, and then they don't fight each other. So, I don't understand why people are calling for this stuff. I'm tired of the tease at this point with this fight. I want to see it happen. I believe it will happen, but I don't need AJ to hop in the ring, WWE style, get in Tyson Fury's face and start screaming and shouting. One, that's not really his character. He tried that in the Dubois fight and it didn't work out too well for him. And I don't think that's his nature. I think he's a chill dude who just loves boxing. I don't think it's in his nature to be loud and pugnacious. Tyson Fury, he's extroverted. He was raised in a fighting culture, right? And if you follow any gypsy bare knuckle boxing, that's what they do. That's what they engage in. There's a lot of banter. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of trash talk. That's a part of their culture. Look at Willie Hutchinson and Ezra Taylor. That's what Willie Hutchinson does, right? He's from the traveler gypsy culture. He talks a lot of trash. He tries to get in your head. He'll push the envelope. He'll walk the line and try to get under guys' skin. It worked to a degree for him against Craig Richards and Ezra Taylor. Didn't work out so well against Joshua Buatsi, even though he gave a good account of himself, to be fair, in the loss. I'd like to see a rematch. Side note, that'd be an interesting fight. But getting back to the point, that's what these guys do. They talk a lot of trash. They try to get up all the hype and the and no man alive, no man born from his mother, and all that stuff. And half the time these fights don't materialize. So I think AJ did the right thing. I know I'm in the minority, but I don't care. It's my channel. I'm gonna say what I want. There was nothing to gain by engaging Tyson Fury. If he gets in there and starts screaming at him, what are the Hatmans and all the other detractors online gonna say? Oh, this is out of character for AJ. He tried this before against Daniel Dubois. Oh man, Tyson Fury is really getting in his head. He's normally not this emotional, and he's normally very composed and blah, blah, blah. But when AJ decides, I'm not gonna play your game, he's scared of Tyson Fury, which is utterly ridiculous. I don't think either one of these guys is scared of each other. They're professional fighters. I think that when you look at their resumes and who they fought some tough dudes. So the idea that they're scared of each other in terms of physical harm that may be costing them, I think is just ridiculous. You look at AJ's record, you look at the dudes he's fought. It's hard to say he's scared of Tyson Fury, who is a good heavyweight, but in my opinion is overrated. And I mean overrated in the literal sense of the word. Right now, I don't think either AJ or Fury are top 5 heavyweights. as we stand currently, my top 5 is Usyk, Atalma, Kabayel, Wardley, and Dubois, right? So, the idea that AJ, who's fought 2 guys who are in the top 5, and other fighters like Joseph Parker, a prime Dillian White, Povetkin, Andy Ruiz, but somehow he's scared of Tyson Fury with the flicker jab, the slap hook, right? The backhand, which is illegal. I know you dick riders don't want to admit that. It's against the fucking rules, right? You're not allowed to throw backhands in boxing, but for whatever reason, a lot of rules do not apply to Tyson Fury. That apply to everyone else, they don't apply to him. So I think this is just, much ado about nothing. It's a total distraction. I think the fight will happen, and again, I think it's a competitive fight. Going into the Makhmudov fight, I may have slightly favored Fury against AJ, but after seeing his performance, which, people are saying that was a great performance. In what way? He did worse than Guido Vianello. Tyson Fury did worse than Guido Vianello. Let's keep that in mind. Let's just play devil's advocate. Let's go to the hypothetical. If it were AJ in there with Makhmudov and the fight went to points, what would people be saying? We all know what they would be saying. AJ's finished. AJ's gun shy. AJ didn't want to pull the trigger. AJ didn't want to sit down on his punches. AJ is scared. AJ has the demons from the Dubois fight. AJ doesn't trust his chin. Tyson Fury goes in there, stinks to join out, and the narrative is, oh, well, he wanted to get rounds and he wanted to shake rust off. Whose fault is it that he's rusty? It's his fault. Like, the dude has all the money in the world you need. He has all the resources you need to train, all the sparring you need. But then people want to talk about he's rusty like he hasn't been boxing for 30-something years. It's just the amount of excuses that are made for Tyson Fury is just utterly ridiculous. It's frustrating, but then you do have to remember, like, this is just sport. I don't get paid for this. But as a fan who's just passionate about the sport, I just hate it when there's just all these double standards that are applied to different fighters depending on how people feel. And it's always based on emotion. We just see it time and time again, right? There's the press conference now for Usyk Verhoeven, and people are celebrating it, saying Usyk can do whatever he wants because fans have this emotional attachment to him. Like, this guy is literally ducking 3 challengers for sure in Wardley, Atalma, and Kabayel. And you might even throw Filip Hrgović in there, right? He's avoiding top heavyweight challengers to fight a kickboxer, an old kickboxer, right? I know who Rico Verhoeven is. I dabble with Glory. I'll take Glory over the UFC any day, all that trunk glazing. Nah, we're gonna have to see this monstrosity here in Washington, D.C. Pretty soon at the White House. So yeah, I don't watch the UFC at all. I can't deal with the trunk glazing. I can't. And the fights suck anyways. I don't like watching Dagestani dudes dry hump Americans for 25 minutes. I'm not paying for that crap. But back to the point, there are these double standards in boxing, and it's just all based on emotion, right? So I guess we just have to let it play out, Again, I think the fight is 50-50. People like to say Tyson Fury has more of a bag than AJ. But when you're AJ's size, you don't need a bag. You just need to know the basics. So I hope with all this training he's doing with Usyk that he's not gonna try and reinvent the wheel too much. I think with AJ, if he just comes forward, has decent head movement, comes behind with a good stiff jab, sticks it on Fury, touching him to the jab to the body, touching him to the body with the right hand, which Usyk was doing, obviously from the southpaw stance, but still just throwing straight lefts and rights at Fury's body. Also assuming they don't let Tyson Fury wear his trunks up to his fucking nipples and actually make him pull his trunks down to his belly button like everyone else. Again, another double standard for Tyson Fury. I think AJ can win that fight. There's nothing I saw from Tyson Fury that makes me believe he's just gonna blow AJ out the water. If I'm wrong, I'll come here and eat crow. I'll deal with all the Tyson Fury fanboys. I'll hold my hands up in the air and be like, hey, he won fair and square. Tyson Fury's the man. He wins the rivalry. Chapeau mon ami. But I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion that Tyson Fury wins that fight. It's a 50-50 fight in my opinion. And the reason why I say it's 50-50 is because I do think Tyson Fury has the better jab, the better IQ, and better composure under duress, because he's been doing this since he was a boy. And his dad was a fighter. You know, his dad was a shit fighter. He's still a fighter. His uncle Peter, who seems to kind of be the most stable member of that family, is a trainer. His brothers are all fighters. So it's in his family, it's in his blood. That's what he does, you know. AJ's kind of like an athletic dude who learned how to box. And you can see that in the movements. I said that talking about Italma. You can just tell they're just, I don't have the technical term for it, but there are like those micro movements that are the kind of fine degrees of separation that separate like really good fighters from elite fighters. And Tyson Fury does have those movements. However, when you're talking about heavyweight boxing, the disparity in skill does not always correlate. It doesn't correlate as much to victory as it does in the lower weight divisions because of the power element. And if you have a guy like Joshua who's big, who's strong, who's fast, right? He's way faster than Makhmudov, smarter than Makhmudov, a more accomplished amateur than Makhmudov. I think a harder puncher because he's just as physically strong, but he's still fast and athletic. I think he has a better gas tank. You give him a jab, a solid guard, and I just hope AJ's just blocking, parrying, catching, catch counter, all that. Like, if he's just doing that and keeping it simple and stop trying to be a 6'6" Lomachenko and just use his attributes, he would be great. Like you look at Lennox Lewis. AJ is a poor man's Lennox Lewis, in my opinion. That's how I view him right now. No disrespect. He's a poor man's Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis just used his attributes. Now, I don't want to see the hugging, right? Like from Lennox or like Vitali or what Tyson was doing on Saturday along with Makhmudov, to be fair. I don't want to see all the hugging and stuff, but AJ should just use his attributes. That's being smart, you know? Being smart isn't all the trickery and stuff. Sometimes it's knowing who you are and learning how to maximize your attributes in the most efficient manner possible. You know, so I hope that's what they're teaching him wherever he's training at. I don't know. I think Usyk trains in Spain now mainly, but we'll see, man. We'll see. You know, AJ doesn't need a bag. It's like LeBron. Like people say LeBron doesn't have a bag. The nigga's 6'9", 270. Why the hell does he need a bag? No, I'm just gonna drive to the basket and I'm gonna dunk on you. If you put a wall up, I'm gonna make the right pass and I can shoot well enough that you have to respect my jumper. And that's what AJ needs to understand. You need to just have enough skill. You don't need to be Usyk and doing all this, or Mike Tyson, who was 5'9". You don't need to be wasting energy doing that. Go in there, be big, strong, have the mentality that I'm gonna be dangerous and I'm gonna knock this idiot the fuck out. That's what he has to do. If he does that, AJ will win. If AJ is trying to have a look, if AJ is being too timid and trying to box his way into the fight and it starts overthinking stuff, which he can do, I think the fight will go like the Klitschko fight, where Tyson Fury just runs around, pimp slapping him for 12 rounds, wins a unanimous decision. But we'll see, man. All this WWE crap, I don't care about this stuff, dude. But I'm trying to be more consistent with this YouTube game and keep up with what's going on in the boxing world. So I'm making a commitment to just talk about boxing as much as I can. I'm trying to post at least 5 days a week, just give you guys more content. I know I've been on and off and inconsistent, so I'm really trying to get back to it and build this channel up. But help me out, man. Please subscribe, send the videos, push me up in the algorithm so that I can get on bigger platforms, man, and start to make some waves in this boxing world. So help a brother out. But like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for me. Appreciate it. Peace.